Hey everyone, welcome to another Adventures with Smiles. Oh, there, the light's better that way. We are on the second last chapter of the story of the Lochnau. And this chapter is just on exactly how the Lochnau came to be. So, there's a man named from Germany. He moved to Congo in his early 20s. He's Dr. Frederick Ulysses. Now he's the one that puts the Lochnau together, piece by piece, from his legs, body, and head. Now, the reason he made this Lochnau is because he wanted to protect the village he was living in the Congo, that he lived in the Congo, from all the lions that were attacking all the livestock of the local residencies. So he trained the Lochnau just like you would a dog, to a pit bull or whatever, to be able to protect, know what he's protecting it against, know the area he's protecting it against from these lions. Now, at first, the Lochnau did a great job fighting off a number of lions as they attacked the livestock. But after a while, the lions definitely got smarter of how to get the livestock. And Frederick Ulysses definitely wasn't a forgiving man. The Lochnau, after given a number of tries, was repeatedly whipped by Frederick Ulysses. And yeah, definitely didn't like this. And at nights too, the Lochnau was kept under lock and chain around the neck and around the feet whenever he wasn't protecting against the lions. So he definitely didn't like this either, of getting whipped. So one day he definitely just took off and got out of there and made it to the Atlantic Ocean around Nigeria. And hiding, he boarded a ship and made his way over to Brazil. Now when he got to Brazil, he definitely wanted to get out of the major populations of cities. So he made his way into the native tribes within the Brazilian Amazon rainforest. Now in this area, he was definitely taken in by a good tribe. And they treated him well, feeded him well, and treated him with love and care. And he was also trained again for doing the same thing, but this time against protecting against anacondas from their cows, sheep, and all their livestock. And the same thing happened again too, where he would doing a great job at first, but he just started again. Great job at first, but then he just started again. The anacondas got smarter. More groups of them attacked the Lochnau once and the livestock. It just came too much for the Lochnau to take care of. And again, he was tortured with whips, rocks, both physically and mentally. He was put in a cage and tortured with different sounds. And yeah, it definitely was not enjoyable. So one night, just after they had him in complete rage and furious, he broke the metal bars on his cage, thought about attacking the village, but he knew he was up against way too much. And he just started making his way north until he reached Utah. Now you remember at the beginning of the story exactly how I was telling about what happened with the Mackenzies and the Mormon family. So He got up to Utah, and at this point in his life, he had become definitely like a wild horse, like a wild Mustang. He didn't attack, even though he definitely didn't have much love for humans anymore. He didn't attack the Mormon settlements. And a family eventually did take him in to care of the Hatchites, which definitely started to rebuild trust and love with humans again. So they took him up to North Utah with them, used him for same thing again, protection from bears, cougars, and Bigfoot, our Sasquatches, against their livestock. But also he helped too with the plowing of fields and the care of the barns. He was a do-it-all. And then one day when he was actually down by the river, and the Hatchites had just gone to the local market to get more seeds, fruit, bananas. This is when the Mackenzies came in. And now the Mackenzies came from Scotland and came across eastern to Midwest states, and they came to Utah. And this time, it was a harsh winter. And they came upon the Hatchett's farm. And they knew they needed food. So they went in there, started, and grabbed all the food they could from the place, and also clothing. Now, just when they were leaving, the Hatchites did return. And they definitely were not a big fans of this. They pulled out their muskets, and when the Mackenzies came out of the house, they pulled out their muskets too. And a big shootout happened. And sadly, this is when the Hatchites lost everybody within the family. Now the Lochnau was probably just a couple miles away, but he could hear the screams of the Hatchites. So he ran to the family as fast as he could. And he was definitely devastated with what had happened to the family. And he definitely had good senses and smells. So he definitely did pick up the trail at first of following the Mackenzies. But as they're going up north, and just like a cold winter, when the winds happen, they cover the tracks, the scents. So the Mackenzies were able to get up to the village where I showed you in the first video, at their homestead. And the Lochnau, he only was able, like, a few months after that to pick up their trail again. And a few months after that, he was able to get all the way up to them in Canada. And then, yeah, that's the story of how the Lochnau and the story of the Lochnau hunting these Mackenzies happened. So next week will be the conclusion of this story. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll have some good content after, but I'll leave that until we get to that point. So yeah, don't forget to like. If you have any buddies you want to share these videos with too, get some new subscribers for me, I'd be thankful. Alright, I hope you're all doing well. Washing your hands when you need to. Self-isolating, distances. We're going to get through this. Hopefully this ends sooner than later. I know there's talk of a vaccine only coming out in a year. A lot of other thoughts too about it, and martial law, is that going to happen? Yeah, there's a lot of questions, but we're going to get through this. Love one another. Give each other hugs too at times. And yep, I will be out probably about this time next week too with a new video. Take care of yourselves. Later, out.